Hey, Miles here, milesbecker.com. In this video, we're going to talk about the best jobs for entrepreneurs. Now, before we get into what they are, you might be thinking, well, Miles, what do you mean, jobs and entrepreneurs? I'm trying to be an entrepreneur. And if you're anything like I was when I was getting started, I had to keep a full-time job going to pay the bills while I was continuing to pursue my entrepreneurial endeavors for several years. So if you are someone who is right now, you're working a full-time job or a part-time job or two, and you're building something on the side, give me a shout out in the comments. Say, yep, I'm working a job and growing my business at the same time. I want to know if you're in that position. If you're full-time online, just let me know you're full-time online in the comments. Give me a thumbs up when you're down there and subscribe if you haven't. So, moving forward. First off, we need to address the question of Miles, what do you mean? Job, entrepreneur? I'm here to be an entrepreneur. Shouldn't I be able to just quit my job, go all in on the entrepreneurial thing, and won't it work for me? Well, probably not, unless you've spent years growing skills that are marketable and merchantable to other businesses or individuals, and or the skills of digital marketing that have helped you grow an audience. You see, it took my wife and I 4 years of extremely hard work, spending every single weekend, spending every evening, and waking up at 4 a.m. before we had to go to our day jobs. Again, 4 years of this intense amount of work to get our internet-based business to generate the kind of cash flow we needed to pay off student loan debts, to pay for rent, to pay for food, to essentially cover life. So we had to juggle for 4 years jobs and our side hustles. Now, I want to talk about some specific types of jobs that are extremely beneficial for entrepreneurs for different reasons. I'm going to share stories from my past and how that evolution worked for me, and also from my wife, because she took a very, very unique perspective and angle to kind of combining the day job with the side hustle and business that now supports us to this day. So for me, first of all, and the number one, there is a number one, right? The number one job I think that you can get is sales. Sales skills are one of those things that translate so perfectly to copywriting. And if you learn much about any of the great copywriters of our day and of yesteryear, like Zig Ziglar, if you learn about the Joe Sugarmans, the Dan Kennedys, the Eugene Schwartz, these guys were master salesmen first. So for me, one of the jobs I held was actually selling cars. I've always liked cars growing up. My dad was kind of a gearhead, kind of a greaser, and I've just always loved cars. So I found a wholesale automotive company. So they wholesaled cars, which means they would buy from one dealership and sell to another dealership. But the cars they got for a really, really good deal, we would sell them online. So we ran a warehouse. It wasn't like a normal sales lot. It wasn't a car lot that people would come walk up. You would browse our inventory online, or you would find our eBay store. I was in charge of photographing the cars, writing up the listing, gave me a lot of great experience doing copywriting, and then really kind of taking the phone calls and facilitating the transactions. I sold Harley Davidsons to Germany. I sold Mustangs to New Zealand, and of course we sold a ton of vehicles domestically. The Southwest has great cars. There's no snow, there's no rust, they don't do salt on the roads, so people from Michigan or New York or places where they use salt on the roads and there's rust issues on cars, they would love to come out and buy our cars, and that was wonderful experience for me, learning how do you close a deal. Previously to that, I was doing inside sales for a web hosting company, actually selling web hosting. This is when I was kind of doing the MySpace hustle in the early years. So I also had an inside sales position there, selling something that was relevant to the world of internet marketing. So that was kind of the number one for me. And I think the sales chops and the understanding of how to build rapport with people, how to get them to know, like, and trust you quickly so they'd be willing to trust you to do a deal with you. Because again, I was selling cars out of a warehouse. It was a non-traditional experience for local people who I met through my Craigslist advertising. So that's really number one. I think sales, outside sales, direct sales, door-to-door sales, commission-only sales, the kind of sales that force you to essentially eat what you hunt type situation, that can be such a powerful position to force one to really master the game of sales. Because when you get to the point where you're creating funnels, you're creating Facebook ads, you're creating one-time offers, one-click upsells, all of those bits and pieces that my wife and I manipulate and work with today, man, it's all sales copy, and You either know how to sell things or you don't. And if you don't, finding somewhere that has great sales training to get you into a sales program. My first job ever out of high school, I did not go straight to college, was actually selling advertising for the newspaper. I sold display advertising in our local newspaper at the Oakland Tribune, downtown Oakland on 13th Street in the Tribune Tower. So that's a little bit about my path to that point. And I think the key takeaway is that one of the number one jobs you can get is sales. One of the other cool benefits of a great sales position is you really do kind of increase that ceiling to what you can earn. It's well known that for individuals who don't have master's degrees and higher education, going in the route of sales, you can find sales positions that can generate hundreds of thousands of dollars per year, if not millions of dollars per year, because they often have a commission-based structure. You probably get taxed higher on commission structure. That's neither here nor there. Those skills can be a great way for you to build skills that will serve you for a lifetime as an entrepreneur while earning the income you need right here and now to devote to your entrepreneurial gig so you can have that side time for that side hustle. So number 2 is something that comes easy to you. Now, the other job I took, when I went back to work after going to flat broke, moved back in with my parents, I had to go get a job at that point in time. I was all in on a business model, it fell apart, and I had to get a full-time job. So what did I do? I went into customer support. I've had a ton of customer support experience. It was really close to the inside sales type experience I have. In some companies, there's a little bit of an overlap, but I went straight to a company that allowed me to get a customer support gig. For me to show up, you got to man the phones from, I think it was from 9 to 6 is what I actually had to man the phones from. This allowed me to wake up at 4 in the morning. I worked from 4 till about 8 every single morning. So I got 4 hours of work on my side gig before I went to work. Then I'd get home at about 7 after my commute. And then I'd work till about 10 or 11 at night each and every night. And then I worked all day, every day on the weekends. That's how I was able to put in 30, 40 hours a week on my side hustle while I was also doing 40 hours a week. And when I say something that comes easy, for me, customer support was easy because I had spent 7, 8, 9 years answering phones, helping people solve their problems as a customer support representative. So the processes was actually quite simple. I didn't emotionally engage, so I was able to show up, do my work, and when I left, I left. It didn't come home with me. It's not something I thought about much. I was able to really quickly turn the page from the day job and get right back to work on my side hustle when I got home. It's not like I ever brought work home with me because our hours, by definition, in the customer support department were only open from, I think it was like 9 to 6, like I said. So that was a very easy process for me. Then the number 3, and for you it might be very different, right? Before we get to number 3, like you maybe have never done customer support, and the thought of handling challenging situations from clients and customers over the phone might sound terribly intimidating to you. Great, what have you been doing, right? What do you have experience in already that you can go plug in and do relatively easily? So for Melanie, one of the side gigs she had for a while was actually working a retail store. She started just working in the retail store and she kind of elevated up to management, and she had jobs previously during college, on break, etc., of running retail shops. So it was really easy for her, and this transitions into number 3. The third idea here, which is the final big idea, is finding a small or entrepreneurial type business that you could potentially wear a lot of hats within. As an entrepreneur, we, starting out when the budgets are thin, we do everything. I was customer support guy. I was lead developer, had no idea how to develop. I was the server administrator, had no clue how to do a server administrator. I was everything, right? I dealt with APIs for email lists. We do everything as entrepreneurs in the beginning. So finding a small business that is in that kind of like every employee wears many hats type situation can actually give you the potential to maybe move into a little bit of the digital marketing team. You might be able to help out with social media management. You might be able to help them with keyword research and content marketing, which will give you a nice varied kind of number of different jobs and tasks and roles, and it'll give you experience in the digital marketing stuff that ultimately will work for you later. The other way that this could work, and for Melanie, what was really quite interesting is she got a job running what's called like a metaphysical store. Often it was in a vacation town, and she started just working retail. She ended up managing the entire business, and they sold crystals, they sold books in the metaphysical space, they sold angel cards, oracle cards, jewelry, incense, all kinds of interesting trinkets and pendulums and cool stuff that's all in the world of metaphysics. She also booked readings for tarot readers, for angel card readers, etc., and massages for body healing and Reiki, etc., etc. So She worked there for about 3 years. So while we were building the business that was in the world of metaphysics, right? Because that's where her business is. It's the intersection of angels and spirituality and meditation. She found a job in a tourist town in Lake Tahoe where she was able to actually go be around that target audience all day, every day. Because the people who walked into that metaphysical shop looking at the crystals and looking at the jewelry and the angel cards and the metaphysical books and getting readings are literally, it's that same kind of customer avatar that currently visits our website, that joins our list, that is buying our products now. So for 4 years, Melanie was in that shop working. She got to the point where she was buying. She learned a ton about the different crystals, about the different metaphysical properties of all of these different things. And then she got the experience selling, right? So a great retail individual, you are helping people obtain things which they want, right? It's not a direct sales, it's not an outside sales or an inside sales position. But when someone's looking at a $300 crystal and they're curious, what benefits does this have and why would I want this? Being able to educate them and being friendly so that the know, like, trust situation leans in your favor is how you actually close the sale oftentimes in those situations. So she got a lot of that type of experience. She learned the challenges and the problems of that demographic, and it just helped her really immerse herself in the world of that audience. And all day, every day, whether it was on the side hustle hours or on working that day job hours, her time was focused on being of service to that specific audience, right? And that's a big part of why now, at this point in our business where she doesn't have the side gig and hasn't had that for many, many, many years now, her knowledge of the challenges, the pain points, the goals, the desires of her audience, her deep understanding of the audience actually comes from not only our web-based business, but from all those years hand to hand working at the counter, really helping out all those individuals who came in with a wide variety of goals, desires, dreams, challenges, problems, etc., etc. So that third idea is looking for a job that has some sort of an overlap to where you want to go. So for me, when I took that last customer support position, I convinced them that growing an affiliate program was a really good idea. And I helped them launch an affiliate program on AvantLink, which is an affiliate network, and we grew it to over $250,000 in revenue in the first year. And I took that platform from zero to reaching out to the affiliates, to establishing the relationships, to giving them the different ads and the different imagery and the different coupon codes, and really just building those affiliate relationships from the vendor side. So not only was I doing customer support, it was a small entrepreneurial business that allowed me to kind of grow an affiliate side to that business. I also helped out with content marketing, SEO, and a bunch of other things. So all of those technical skills I was learning relate directly to the technical skills that Melanie and I are now working with. So that's one way that this third one kind of works itself out. But the other side is what Melanie did, which was she got a job that gave her face-to-face interaction with the target audience that she's currently servicing today. So if you want to run a big website on the best, let's say the best kind of home security systems, well, getting a job selling home security systems or do-it-yourself home security devices for a small entrepreneurial business in your area can give you a plethora of experience you can pull from for decades and years to come. You're going to get to know the goals, needs, desires of the audience members because you're going to be working with them. You're going to get hands-on with all of the tech, so you're going to get to understand how it all works together so you could be a better educator in that situation, and you may very well get the opportunity to create content marketing, social media marketing, and other types of marketing channels to get the real raw kind of experiences inside of the world as a digital marketer, yet you're earning a paycheck because you're helping a business elevate what they're doing through being of service to them in that situation. So I really think it's important for most wannabe entrepreneurs, most new entrepreneurs to remember that most great entrepreneurs have to maintain full-time jobs to support their entrepreneurial habit. My wife and I spent 4 years plus working full-time jobs in order to truly create the income we needed to live so we could keep building our asset on the side. Too many people have a false belief of, I'm just gonna go find some piece of rubbish plastic from Alibaba and I'm gonna list it and sell it from a Shopify store and there it is, hammocks on the beach, here we go. And the truth is, it takes years of effort to grow an audience, to grow a relationship with the audience, to learn how to kind of create those types of offers that trigger the audience to take action. And you need to have a system in place that's going to generate income for you while you go through that learning phase. It is double or more the work up front, and this is why most people don't ever actually bridge the gap to achieve success as an entrepreneur. It's more work than they think. They're either buying into the fake guru's promise that it's going to be easy, which is not, and the moment they get hit in the face with how hard it is, because it's extremely difficult, they quit. Or they simply put themselves in a position where they go all in, they quit their job, they've only got a month and a half of income left. There's no way you're gonna pull full-time income unless you're bringing some immense skills to the table and years of experience to the table. And then they go back and get another job and they think this stuff doesn't work. But those who are in it for the long term, who find a way to create income that pays their bills now in a way that will help them get the skills or the experiences, right? Sales skills, digital marketing skills, or experiences working with that perfect demographic who you want to serve through your online business. In that scenario, and then writing it out for a matter of years, 3, 4, 5 years in that scenario, that's how people create the kinds of lifestyle businesses that can grow to be successful ventures. We're talking multi-million-dollar businesses. We've now generated multiple millions of dollars of profit from our businesses, and it's been a long path. It's been an extremely long path. If I would have had my way, I wanted it to happen in 6 months. Instead, it took 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 years. And it's okay, because look behind me. Look at where I'm at. I'm in the tropics right now. I'm looking for an event. The lifestyle that you'll create is well worth it. You just have to persevere through those challenges, and sometimes you got to hold down that job. So find a job that's going to help you build on skills that are going to help you become a more valuable entrepreneur in the future. That's the big idea. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, give me a thumbs up. If you have any questions, get at me in the comments. That's what they're there for. I thank you for your time. Be sure to subscribe. I do 3 videos a week, so that means I got 2 more videos coming out this week. I appreciate you. I hope this has been a helpful video for you. Any questions, get at me in the comments, and I look forward to connecting with you soon. Till we meet again, be well.